Hello. Good evening. Saturday night. Saturday night. Saturday night. Big Saturday night. 10:24. Saturday night. I've done 3 wardrobe changes today at least. My Janet Jackson wardrobe changes. We did some videos. I did some videos in this shirt, and then I did some videos in this shirt, and then now I'm doing a video in this shirt. And I thought I would pop in because it's Saturday night and I'm home finally. I'm back in my office, and I had some interesting and fun experiences. One with Stella that I wanted to share for parents out there. I was just tucking her in and she asked me one of those questions, like one of those deep kid questions that you kind of have to think about for a second. Like the answer seems obvious until you really think about it. So we went to the Apple store, and I didn't have a panic attack, but I started to really see the problems in America. How many fingers do I have? Close to that one, Kristen. It's pretty close to that. It's like that. So Stella says, I'm tucking her in, and she's in bed, and I looked at Michelle and I said, "Where's Stella?" And she's like, "Well, she went to bed." And it's like, "Well, she didn't say goodnight." So I go in there to kiss her and tuck her in, and Stella says, she says, "Is your foot part of your leg?" And I almost, instantly responded with like, "Duh. Hey, Gino, wait, I got to show you something." I got to turn this camera off though, because I don't want you to see what I'm wearing here. Gino, I got to show you something. So I'm going to show you something, Gino, when I play this clip from the Apple store. So Stella asks me, Kristen Coppers. In fact, she mentioned you tonight at dinner because there was somebody else in my comments, and she said, "Is that Kristen Coppers?" So not a day goes by where Kristen Coppers isn't mentioned by Stella Dubiel. But Stella says to me, "Is your foot part of your leg?" And I almost answered immediately and said, and then I went, "Gosh, it's so obviously no, and it's so obviously yes. Is the foot part of the leg?" It's attached to the leg, but is the foot part of the leg? Tell me, how do I answer that? I just said, you know what? We got to talk to your mom because, it's definitely attached to the leg. I think the argument could be made that the foot is part of the leg, but then the argument probably could be made by somebody. I should have told her I'm not a biologist, but Stella wanted to know if the foot was part of the leg. So Gino, I got to show everybody something because Gino Young is here. Hey, Gino. And I think no, but maybe, right? Exactly. The foot is part of the leg, maybe, but maybe not. I mean, that's one of those. I mean, talk about putting your brain in a pretzel. Gino says, "No, it's attached," but I never thought of that. Where did she get that from? I don't know, man. Like she's laying in bed asking this stuff. Okay. So you know what campaigning's like, Gino. You know what campaigning's like, Kristen. You get campaign brain as it is. And then you get a pretzel brain twister from your kid saying, "Is the foot part of the leg?" I mean, I can handle "When Was the War of 1812" all day long. That's child's play compared to "Is the foot part of the leg?" So that was, it's nice to have those moments. Those are grounding moments as a parent, as a person, especially when you're dealing with all this, as Matthew McConaughey would say in Wolf of Wall Street, all this above the neck mustard stuff that, gets pretty heavy at times here. It's nice to be brought back down to earth by the 10-year-old who wants to know the hard, heavy, the heavy hitting stuff. Like, come on, Dad, is the foot part of the leg? We need an answer here, Mr. Dubiel. You want to be senator? Boy, they should ask that at a forum. Is the foot part of the leg? Matt Dubiel, go. Holy smokes. Okay, so That was the first thing that happened. Second thing that, so just, dad stuff. Second thing that happened was we went for dinner, and then we went to the Apple store after dinner. And we haven't been to the Apple store in a while for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Apple store has crazy hours because of all of the smash and grabs and then construction. There's one in downtown Naperville. Then because of COVID, then they got really weird. The Apple store got really weird, man. So we go to the Apple store, and I just want to share this video with you of the Apple store and the experience. And here's why it applies. The Apple store, Chase Manhattan Bank, Costco, iHeartRadio, the companies that run the world are all in on ESG. And here's how you know. Go ahead, Matt, roll the clip. Oh, I got to turn the sound on.
That work, customers don't have masks on.
I got to rewind it here.
Wow. So I'm at the Apple store, and like everyone at Apple has a mask on. Like all the people that work here have masks on. It's the strangest thing. Like the customers don't have masks on. There's usually a security guard up at the front, but all the staff have masks on. I got to think this is part of their ESG policy, because every single Apple employee has a mask on. It's the most surreal, creepy thing I've ever seen.
Okay, so I'm at the Apple store. It's Stella and Michelle and I. We go in there. Usually there's a security guard at the front, and the security guard stands there just like this with a mask on. Whatever. You know what, man? It's your prerogative, Bobby Brown. You could wear the mask if you want to wear it. But now we go in there. There's no security guard tonight, which is a little odd because it's a Saturday night, so it's a busier night. None of the customers were wearing masks. Every single person on the staff at Apple is wearing a mask. Now, again, it's your prerogative, but they weren't wearing masks in the Apple store last week. Like the staff was, like maybe 1 out of 3 people, 1 out of 5 people, 1 out of 10 people were wearing masks. So I did a little, whenever I see this, I have to start asking myself and everyone else. I gotta say, like, what is this about, and why is this happening? So I'm pulling up my screen here because I want to show you. I want to share my screen. And I looked them up, and I don't know if this is working or not. Yeah, it's going to be a picture within a picture within a picture. So you can see Apple is all in on environmental social governance. Okay, that's their headquarters. I hope you can see this. We believe that business at its best serves the public good, empowers people around the world, and binds us together as never before. And so this is their environmental social governance report. These companies that are participating in the environmental social governance are the ones that are implementing these crazy policies for their staff, and then they're passing it down to their customers. So when you see this, you have to understand that it's an effort to make you think this is the thing to do. And they're being incentivized to do this. Apple is being incentivized to do this. If Apple participates in this ESG crap, then they will get more brownie points in the ESG system. They'll get special consideration, they'll get tax breaks, they'll get better interest rates, or they'll get better contracts, whatever it is. Part of their implementation of this nonsense is the subjugation and influence over the people. So my headline for this video was Tattaglia is a pimp, and my people in my Godfather people, Gino Young says brainwashing, and this is what I wanted to show Gino. I mean, this might be the coolest sign out of all of them. Look at this sign. He's not in my district, but look at that sign. Gino Young, man. So I was saving it just for something like this, and here he is. He popped in. And I saw Gino the other night at an event in Shanahan, and he spoke, and he was great. And then I spoke, and I was okay. But I got to get one of Gino's signs, and I brought it home for Natalie because Natalie and Michelle met Gino early on in the petition process. And they were like, we met this guy, Gino, and you should see him and you should talk to him and blah, blah, blah. So Gino's great. And Gino's right, brainwashing. It's beyond brainwashing, though. It's influence. It's top-down influence. And it's Apple is behaving like a pimp. And Apple is not the only company or entity doing this. This is as old as time in memoriam. And so the cliche and the callback of Godfather and the first and second Godfather movie is Tattaglia is a pimp. That's one of the lines from the movie because, and the Godfather people know what I'm talking about, and everyone else is like, oh God, here we go, another Godfather reference. But it's profound because we have these pimps throughout history and throughout our life history. One of them now is Apple. So Apple is like Tattaglia. Apple is a pimp. They're trying to pimp us out and show us this is the way to be. Oh, you should be afraid. You should have a face mask on because we're making our staff wear it. What they're not telling you is they have this policy that's longer than some of the bills that have been written in past and never read by Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin. But their policies at Apple, Google economic environmental social governance and Google their policies and read their policies. Read the ESG policy for iHeartRadio. Read the ESG policy for your bank and your retirement account. My friends, we are on the verge of world government. And this is not, we have the documents, to quote Alex Jones. This is not Alex Jones conspiracy stuff. This is reality. They have posted the documents on their websites. Apple has the document on their websites. Please share this with your family, because if your retirement account is living with a company that's participating in ESG, you're paying for ESG. If you're buying $1,000 laptop or a $2,000, $3,000, iMac or supercomputer, you are paying for the world government implementation. You're paying for environmental social governance. Environment, social governance. No government is involved. It's a shadow government. It's a shadow government by companies like Apple, like iHeartRadio, like JP Morgan, like PNC. I went to PNC last week and everybody was wearing a mask. And for those of you who are, pro-mask, this isn't pro-mask, anti-mask. What it is the mask correlates because the public outside, 1 out of 10 people are wearing masks in public at the most. In the Apple store, 100% of the staff are wearing masks. And then at some point here, coming up pretty soon, they're going to mandate that you have to wear a mask in their store. And then they're going to push it even further and push it even further. Okay? This is the beginning of world government. Because this ESG stuff, please share this with your family, not for me. Whether you vote for me or not, this is happening. If you vote for me, I'm going to stand up and wave my arms in the air, and I'm going to go stand on the floor of the Washington D.C. and then back here at home and say, "Hey, this cannot stand. This is bad news. We have to fight this." And I will vote against it at every turn. But it's happening, my friends. It is happening. The horse has left the gate. It's out there. It's happening in almost every business, in every category. It's why you hear the public service announcements on iHeart radio stations and Cumulus radio stations. They all have ESG policies. But here's what I want to tell you. Okay, so Tattaglia is a pimp. Jesse Jackson is a pimp. Costco's a pimp. Apple's a pimp. It's not unique to corporations. It's not unique to the Democratic Party. And I say Jesse Jackson, why? Because Jesse Jackson pimps out the African-American community and pimps them out to Democratic voters and stands in the way. So he gets to say, yeah, do this, and then he does something different. Apple is doing that. Yeah, do this, and then they do something different. Costco is doing the same thing. They're pimps. They're pimping out their people. for their own benefit and to the detriment of the people, their constituents. And they don't really have constituents because they're unelected people. And it's not just Jesse Jackson, and it's not just Apple, and it's not just Costco and JP Morgan Chase and all these other organizations. It's people in the GOP. It's the Illinois GOP. The Illinois GOP is a pimp. There, I said it. The Illinois GOP is a pimp. The Chicago Tribune is a pimp. The Daily Herald is a pimp. Any of these organizations and groups that are giving you their, hey, here's all the people you got to vote for. Here's the people that, we're telling you are the people. They're pimping you out. They're pimping their readers out. They're pimping the community out to their benefit and the detriment of the community. And they're hoping that we keep coming back. And they're doing it for their own power. And some of them are ignorant and they don't even realize or they don't even know. So these people that are endorsing the establishment candidates, so there's an establishment candidate in the United States Senate race. She has no clue what ESG is, what it's like to be in Facebook jail, what it's like to be banned or shadow banned on the internet, what it's like to be, minimized in search, what it's like to be having to deal with any of that stuff. She's got no clue. None of the candidates do. None of them are even talking about this stuff. In fact, none of the gubernatorial candidates are talking about any of this stuff. I asked Jesse Sullivan about this. I asked various candidates about ESG and what they would do about it because they talk a big game about Illinois and what they're going to do for Illinois. Guess what? If you're the governor of Illinois, but the Apple stores have an ESG policy and they're making their staff wear masks and they're making their customers wear masks, they can do whatever they want. The governor has now less power than the shadow government. And the shadow government for ESG is very big and very strong. It's part of the Great Reset. It's part of integrating the World Economic Forum with the World Health Organization, with the United Nations. And I want you to think about the future. I want you to think about a future where, okay, gas prices have gotten out of control. Gas prices are so crazy, you finally gave in, you went and you got an EV. You bought the Tesla. You finally got your Tesla. You're so excited. You're ready to drive this thing. It snows 3 feet that year in Chicago. And Governor Pritzker, in his second term, gets on the radio and gets on the text SMS blast and gets on the Amber Alert and says, you know what? We've shut down all the nuclear power plants as part of our, Save the Climate program here in Illinois. We're implementing rolling blackouts throughout Illinois because we have to conserve energy. We're asking you not to charge your electric vehicle, please. In fact, we're going to be shutting down different grids in the 102 counties for power because we have to conserve energy. This is for the greater good. It's 2 weeks to slow the spread. This is an issue of climate change, and this is an issue of keeping everyone safe. And because we need to keep everyone safe, we're asking you not to charge your vehicle, to stay home for 2 weeks. And if you don't listen to us, we're just going to turn off your power. And now you can't charge your car and you can't get on the internet. Well, but then maybe they'll turn it on an hour for you to watch Maury or Springer or something so you can get your credit. You could get your points for watching the show that's going to make your mind into mush. And you can watch the news and you'll get some points for that. And then they'll send you some credits. They'll send you some digital dollars. They'll send you some digital crypto to your account through the government crypto account. But they need you to wait, and you can't go to work, and you can't pick your kids up from school. In fact, your kids can't go to school. But you'll earn credits to use the internet and to use power. And that sounds nuts, right? That sounds like crazy town. Except last week, the governor of California, during rolling blackouts, asked people not to charge their electric vehicles. Now, what happens when your health is tied into this? What happens when your language and your speech is tied into this? Like what you said on the internet, what you shared on Facebook, what you shared on Twitter, what you sent via email. What happens when it's all tied together? Does it matter if it's Pritzker that's governor? Does it matter who the governor is? Might matter. Might matter a little bit, but if the boot of energy is crashing down on the governor, and these companies are being run by ESG policies that are allowed to be implemented, regardless of the fact that our government is supposed to protect against them, but our Congress and our Senate and our state assembly and our state legislature, they're clueless. They're like this. They don't even know what's going on. And how do you know they don't know what's going on? You know they don't know what's going on because during the last 2 weeks to slow the spread, they did nothing for us. They were MIA. They were out to lunch. All they did was cry about how they didn't have a majority and how they were up for re-election and, oh, we don't know what to do. What do you think they're going to do this time? The World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, the United Nations they're salivating right now. They're gnashing their teeth and they're just waiting. They're waiting for us to reelect idiots and evil people. And the useful idiots in Illinois are fodder for it because they're the pimps. They don't even maybe know what's going on with ESG. They probably don't know how to spell ESG, some of them. They've never heard of it. They just want to be important. They just want to give you their list and, oh, here, look, here's who I think you should vote for. Go ahead. Vote for the establishment candidates. Vote for the people that don't know what's going on or do know what's going on and are in on it. These people that took the Richard Irvin money, Richard Irvin, the Dick, what's his name? Ken Griffin, the Ken Griffin money. These people that took the Ken Griffin money, which was then passed down to Richard Irvin, and then Richard Irvin dished it out to the underbosses. They're not paying attention to this stuff. They just think this is like another election as usual. It's just another election. Let's just get in. I want to get me a good, cushy government job. I want to be Secretary of State. I want to be Attorney General. I want to be the treasurer. I want to be the comptroller. I want to go against Alexei Janulius. And they're just waiting because they're like, yeah, this is my time and I'm going to get in. And I got some of this Ken Griffin money. Woo! Let's roll the dice and let's get in there. They have no clue what's going on. They're not campaigning on that. They're talking about everyday crap like it's an everyday year, like 2022 is just another year. Guess what? 2022 is 8 years before 2030. Google the 2030 agenda. Google 2030. Google Davos, World Economic Forum, World Health Organization. They want to integrate all these things together digitally. They want your speech, your money, your freedom, your work, and your health all integrated in a technological way. So you people that think that Elon Musk is so great, guess what? He's got a car company and then he's got a communications company. So he's not as great as everyone thinks he is. Where does that leave us? These people that are leading you down the road of, so-and-so said that Richard Irvin is the candidate, and so-and-so says you should vote for Kathy Salvi. I'm not running for Senate to be senator. I'm running for Senate so that we have somebody in there that knows what the hell is going on and represents us. Because if these people get in, we're in worse shape than we were before. Let me explain. Bruce Rauner gave us J.B. Pritzker. If Bruce Rauner was a real, strong, conservative governor, he would have led Illinois to success. He would have fought off all the things that are causing all of our problems. He would have stood up for business, low taxes, constitutional rights, sanctuary cities, no way, crime, no way. It would have been a big success if Bruce Rauner was a strong conservative governor, and he wasn't. And then we got J.B. Pritzker. So these people that say, oh, we got to just support whoever, we just got to support whoever the nominee is and whatever. No, we have to make sure the nominee is not Richard Irvin. We have to make sure the nominee for Senate is not the establishment candidate. We have to, and I'll take that one a step further. We have to make sure that the nominee, the Republican nominee for Senate is Matt Dubiel. If we don't, we're going to have a bunch of people in there that have no clue what's going on and no ability to discuss it or debate it or prevent it or anything. They're going to think it's business as usual, which is what Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth are doing. Easy for me to say. And Pritzker and Lori Lightfoot, Larry Lightweight. Lori Lightfoot, just as an example, her solution, this is just an example of what's happening with these people. They're all pimps. Lori Lightfoot's solution to the crime problem in Chicago is not to prosecute crime and let the cops do their job. Her solution is to do a deal with a private technology firm and security firm to provide technology in the form of cameras and surveillance for free to the people in the community. Tom Dart and Dick Durbin went to Congress to talk about the increase in carjackings in Chicago, which is seeping out from Chicago. 4,000 carjackings. 4,000 carjackings. Think about that. Since 2022, I believe. 4,000. So during a time when, you could die if you didn't have your face covered, 4,000 people had their car stolen and got carjacked. And Tom Dart went to Congress, and Dick Durbin was like, yeah, here's Tom Dart. And they went there and they said, the solution is to have everybody's car surveilled. They basically want a LoJack in everyone's car. That's their solution. They want to tank society. They want crime so bad that we're begging for more surveillance and more tracking. They want crime so bad that we're begging to have cameras everywhere. They want crime so bad that we're begging to be imprisoned ourselves in our own homes. And that's what they're doing with energy. That's what they're doing with crime. That's what they're doing with the financial system. This is a controlled demolition. This is everything that is the Great Reset. Now I'm going to get bonged on Facebook. Facebook's going to say, oh, Great Reset. This dude is disseminating false information. You better fact check it. Yeah, please fact check it. Read about the Great Reset. Google the 2030 agenda. Google Davos and the World Economic Forum, where they say, you will have nothing, you will own nothing, and you will be happy. Google eating bugs. Google it. There's been an uptick in major corporations, multinational companies that make regular food, and they want to feed us bug protein. Gee. What's a good way to get people to eat bugs? Oh, I bet you if all the food supplies around the world burn down, that would be a great way to get people to eat bugs, because if that's all that's left and you got lots of crickets and cricket meat, then you can get people to eat the cricket meat. Get ready for the cricket meat baby formula. Crime, finance, food supply, border, it's happening across the board. So if you think this is another election and you think this is like, oh yeah, red versus blue, and we gotta, no, that's not what this is, man. This is big. This is a last stand because the World Health Organization links up with Apple and ESG, and all of a sudden, the World Health Organization, which is run by China, China is the hand up the puppet controlling the World Health Organization, and Tedros, the guy that's like behind, the leader. And then you have the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab with his, evil garb. Klaus Schwab, Charles Schwab, I won't even touch a cotton swab. That's how bad this stuff is. These are evil organizations. And where's our government? Our government is supposed to be protecting us from this stuff. Our representatives are supposed to be getting the data and the information and then sharing it with us, the people. And so during all of this, what do they want to do? They want to change your 2A. They want common sense gun reform. Why? Because of something that happened in Texas with somebody that was probably on psychotropics, somebody that was probably under a lot of stress or a lot of abuse and various other things. I want to see what that's in that person's body. But they're using that to take away your ability to protect yourself. Anybody feel like they wanted to be more protected over the last 3 years when there was marauders walking the streets saying, we're going to go to the suburbs? When they are defunding police and they're saying, well, we don't want you to pursue criminals and we don't want you to go this way and we don't want you to go that way because you might upset somebody. The cops have had to back off. They don't want to be reprimanded. They don't want to be sued. They don't want to be incarcerated. And now with a less help from the police, they want you to not be able to protect yourself. And then what? Now you can't get baby formula. What's next? The chickens and the eggs. I don't know which came first, but the chickens and the eggs are being destroyed. The food plants are being destroyed. Plants are burning down across America. Who's burning them down? Why aren't we investigating that? All of this is happening. And when you go to the store, Apple, Costco, you name it, is going to say, nah, you know what? You have to put a thing on your face in order to come in. And you have to, what's next? What will they demand of you next? What will you have to give up in order to get what you need? When you have no 2A freedom, you have no 1A freedom, and your representatives have abandoned you. If the people running for office that you're looking at aren't talking about this stuff, they either don't know or don't want to say. Hold them to the fire. Make them answer these questions. Ask the non-gubernatorial candidates where they stand on Richard Irvin. Ask them in person. Take out your phone and record it next time you see him at one of these events. Will you support Richard Irvin if he's nominated? I'll give you my answer. Do you want it? No. I will not support Richard Irvin. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I Am. I would not support him in a primary. I would not support him in a dairy. I would not support him in a house. I would not support him with a mouse. I don't want to be seen with him. I went to one thing with him, and that was an event where they were doing endorsements. So they schedule you. And I introduced myself and I said hello, and that was it. I don't want to be taking pictures with that guy. I don't want to be at fundraisers with that guy. I don't want to be associated with the people that are getting the money that he's getting. They've already sold themselves out. If they've sold themselves out now, what are they going to do later? If they're wasting our money now, where's my stack of, I have a stack of, did I take it out? Yeah, I took it out. I have a stack of these mailers, the Richard Irvin mailers, the crap that they're wasting Ken Griffin's money on. If they're wasting his money on that stuff now, what do you think they're going to do with our money? So ask them. When you see all the other Senate candidates, ask them, would they support Richard Irvin if he was nominated? Maybe you're okay with them supporting him. That's up to you. I'm not. I wouldn't support anybody that's going to support Richard Irvin. I won't even go to Oberweis. Why? Because is it Dick Ober? What's Oberweis's first name? Oberweis is on the board with Richard Irvin. Oberweis is helping Richard Irvin. Oberweis thinks that Richard Irvin is a legit Republican, or he's lying to himself and telling us that he thinks he's a legit Republican. I won't even go to Oberweis anymore. That's how I roll. Because we're at a critical juncture here, my friends. When you can't go and buy chicken at the store, and when your gas is $6 a gallon and going up, and your dollar is going down, and the people in charge and the people representing us are doing nothing. And in fact, they're not doing nothing. They're pouring gas on the fire, man. They're pouring the $6 gas on the fire while Rome is burning. They're advocating for bailing out people that are destroying cities. They're advocating for Antifa and BLM. They're advocating for the business of killing people, of abortion, over and over again. That's what's happening right now. They're putting drag queens in story time at school, at the library. And then they're telling us something's wrong with us for not agreeing and not seeing that that's okay. It's not okay. None of this is okay. And walk around outside. It's just another June for people. Nobody in that Apple store. I mean, you got to see this. If you didn't see this, I'm going to play it again. Nobody in this Apple store.
Everyone at Apple has a mask on. Like, all the people that work here have masks on. It's the strangest thing. Like, the customers don't have masks on. They're usually a security guard up at the front. But all the staff have masks on. I got to think this is part of their ESG policy, because every single Apple employee has a mask on. It's the most surreal, creepy thing I've ever seen.
The video, my point about trying to play that video again, though, is I'm in the store. I'm standing there with all the other people. Nobody else thinks it's weird that the employees are all wearing masks and nobody else is wearing a mask. And 2 days ago, they weren't wearing masks. Now, obviously, not everybody was there 2 days ago, but you step outside the Apple store in regular life, nobody is wearing masks at 100% ratio like the staff at Apple. And the people inside the Apple store are just so happy to be able to spend $1,000 on a phone or $2,000 on a computer. They're just like, oh yeah, man, everything's great. That's the world that we're living in. Everything is great. Everybody outside there thinks everything is great. I don't think everything is great, but I'm concerned. I'm concerned about you and me, and June 28th, and then November. What's going to happen on June 28th? What's going to happen in November? Record low voter turnout. Record low voter turnout, June 28th. That's what it looks like to me. And I don't know if anybody knows about this stuff. I don't know if anybody cares. Jim Oberweis. Jim Oberweis. Thanks, Bob. Mark says, sorry, my computer got a little gummed up here. Mark says, come see Matt Darren Bailey for governor this Thursday in Beecher at 6:30, Cardinal Creek Golf Course. Matt, I'll pick up my 2X shirt and signs on Thursday. Yes, Mark. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'm just going through the comments here. Yes, it was Jim. It is Jim Oberweis. Jim Oberweis. Never forget. There's a website. Richard Irvin's website has a list of all these people. All these people. They're either too ignorant to know or too stupid to care. I don't know which. I don't know which, but I'm not stupid enough to be giving Jim Oberweis any more money. I'll tell you that much. Frederick wants a sign. Oh, Frederick, I met you down in at the Patriot Pub night, sir, in Crete. And somebody here says, June says, need to Google SPARS 2025 to 28. Carrie Pierce Pace says, the Great Reset is no joke. No, unfortunately, it is not a joke. It is not a conspiracy theory. It is a real thing. It's a real thing. I'm parched. Gino Young says some of these people are going to be buried in those masks. Yeah, I mean, you know, wear a mask if you want to wear a mask, but free will is not Apple mandating that their staff wear masks because they have an ESG policy. This is the beginning of that compliance. And there's a video, and I shared this for years. Everybody should check it out. It's on my Facebook page. It's a video of this experiment where there's people waiting in a like a doctor's office waiting room. And inside the waiting room, they ring a bell and they tell everyone to stand up. And after a while, the people they told to stand up are no longer in the room and they keep ringing the bell. And every new person in the room keeps standing up. You got to see it. It's one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. And it's a social experiment. And it's what's being implemented right now. These people are just going along with stuff. And this is what got the people of the world into some of the worst situations in the history of the world. Things like the Holocaust, things like World War II, other genocides in other countries, the genocide in Rwanda. These behaviors are the things that led to terrible, terrible outcomes. This blind faith and this blind following of other people. You ever see this commercial where the lemmings all jump off the cliff every year? It used to be a WXRT commercial, and they'd show all these lemmings jumping off the cliff. People have to decide: are you going to be a lemming? Or are you going to be a free-thinking person? It's not so easy these days to be a free-thinking person, which is why I'm running, for example, to represent free-thinking people. My connection's getting real choppy. So it was great to see you, Mark. Great to see you, Frederick. Thank you, Carrie, Mark, Gino, Bob, all the other people that popped in, all the people that gave comments. I know it was a bit of a rant, but it's a serious thing here. These people that are recommending, and I'm not talking about precinct captains and other people that are writing letters and encouraging their constituents or their zones or their people to check out candidates. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking specifically about like these endorsements from, the Township GOP or the Daily Herald or the Chicago Tribune or, even some of these people that fancy themselves as kingmakers and queenmakers. And they're saying, these are the people. That's their opinion. You didn't elect them to be your representative. The representative is the representative. You are the one with the choice. We got to stop giving away our power. Just like these people that ask me about, Trump. It's like, yeah, you know what? I like Trump. There's some things I don't like about Trump. I like DeSantis. There's some things I don't like about DeSantis. I don't want anybody ruling by executive order. I mean, yeah, sometimes I like the executive orders, but what happens when I don't? I don't want a bunch of, executives ruling by executive order. I want the government to do its job. I want the government to function with its checks and balances. So these people ask me, like, well, how do you feel about Trump? It's like, what does that have to do with Senate? People got to stop waiting for Donald Trump to save them, or the Chicago Tribune to guide you, or the Daily Herald to guide you, or this person to tell you who to vote for, or that person to tell you who to vote for. It's up to you. You have the power. You have the power. And you have the power to share, and you have the power to spread information, good information and bad information. I'm trying to give you some good information to spread. So thank you for spreading it. Thank you for sharing it. I hope that you and everyone that watches this considers the information that I presented. And after that, I hope that everyone that checks this out considers that there are 7 candidates for United States Senate. That race is at the top of the ticket. And I will beat Tammy Duckworth in November. In order to do that, I need to be elected in June 28th. That's the day. What does Gino say here? Gino says, Mark, they came by my house about a month ago. It went straight into the garbage. What happened there? I missed the one before that. 2 days ago, 18 Pritzker people walked door to door giving out yard signs. They were paid $18 an hour. I don't know how they hired people because, we all keep hearing nobody wants to work. So where did they find people to work? This one can't go in the garbage. Look at this one. Great sign. Look at that. All right. Good night and good luck. Go to dubioforsenate.com, please. If you haven't participated and shared something or donated or something, please do. I filled up my tank 3 times yesterday, and I'm spending hemorrhaging money. I'm willing to do it. And ultimately, all I need is for you to share and share with people that are going to vote, because I'm not doing this to make money. I'm doing this to save America. And I know that may sound corny, but it's what we need right now. And I don't see anybody else running for United States Senate that has the huevos to talk about the things I'm talking about, and or the awareness to even talk about them. And when it comes to November and it comes to going toe to toe with Tammy, I'll do it. I'll do it with no notes. I'll do it with notes. I'll do it off the top of my head. I'll do it in the back of a bus, on the top of a roof. I'll do it any place, anytime, and I can handle any part of it, because the Democrat Party is the party of late-term abortion. The Democrat Party is the party of Antifa burning down cities. The Democrat Party is the party of BLM, the organization that destroyed our cities. The Democrat Party is the party that wanted to bail them out and got Hollywood to join in with them to bail out criminals while they burned our cities. The Democrat Party is the party of misinformation. The Democrat Party is the party of internal propaganda. The Democrat Party is the party of runaway inflation. The Democrat Party is the party of open borders and give everything to the non-citizens while our veterans are struggling to get insulin and dental care. The Democrat Party is destroying the United States of America. And Democrats have had enough. Independents have had enough. Conservatives have had enough. The United States of America has had enough. We can fix it together, you and me. Let's do it. Thank you and good night. Have a great night.